I was muted, so you guys didn't hear anything. All right. So what I said was I have a brand new story for you guys that I just saw between the time I got off the live with Pascal, which was I think awesome too. That's great. Um, that the killer is actually a woman, which is unusual. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about Summer Wells and what I was saying, which you really couldn't hear because I was muted. Is that you guys know that I become more and more unhinged as I drink, right? So I'm going to start talking about Summer Wells probably in this general area right here. I don't know how to do it on here, Bunny Sue. I don't know how to mod you. I will figure it out, just like I owe Doug it too. Doug one as well. So I'll repeat some of that in a second because there's more people coming in. But I'm going to go ahead and pop this open. Oh, I will have you. We're going to have to get to it. We're not there yet. So there's the first sip. We're on our way. I'm going to wait till a few more people get here, and then we will start this off because I have some great stuff to talk about. Everybody probably went to the Pascal show. So there's like, it's going to be a light night tonight in here. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal. So I was muted, Misty. That was the issue. Yeah, Pascal is awesome. I love doing his show. He's very entertaining, very easy to talk to. Yeah, he's great. Tell about this beer. Okay. So this is a South Carolina beer. I bought it when I was in South Carolina. Last time I was in South Carolina, and it is a sour apple. And it's from Charleston, and it's very good. It's very good. So even you're saying that why are you drinking cotton candy wine if you think it's nasty? Okay. So I'm going to take his advice, and I'm going to try to see if I can have this discussion as if we are maybe going to a podcast later on this. We got 54 people in here. Let me give it a little bit longer just to get a couple more. I will repeat what I've said, and then we will get started. This story that I just read is so effed up. Like, I would say that it makes what Brian Koberger and Brian Walsh look more tame, if you can believe that. So I might not get more than 54 people, so that's okay because I went to Pascal. And if that's the case, that's okay. So as I said, for those of y'all who are just getting here, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. It was great. There's a couple things I want to talk about. First, as I was just saying, between the time I got off the TikTok live and got on here, Alyssa, my wife, shared a story with me that is just so messed up, and I'm going to share that with you. We can talk about the new gag orders, and then I want to talk about Summer Wells because I hope that the person who in my live asked about Summer Wells is in here, but if not, I will give you. Yep, there it is. There we go. Summer Wells. So we're talking about Summer Wells. I'm going to be very unfiltered with what I think happened there. And what I was saying earlier, for those of y'all who are just getting here, is that I get more unhinged the further this goes. So we'll start off talking about Koberger. And then here we're going to move to the other thing that I just discovered, Koberger and Walsh. And then here we're going to talk about Summer Wells. All right. So that's what we're going to do. Well, thank you for coming over from Pascal. He is awesome. This is okay. So this is again is a sour apple beer from South Carolina, which I have a lot of South Carolina beers, and if I'm covering the Murdoch trial, I might need to drink only these when we're doing YouTube. So that said, let's start talking about Koberger from here to here, and then and Anna Walsh, and then we're going to switch down to some new stuff. Okay. So here we go. Yes, I've heard about the new gag orders. So the new gag orders apparently are going to affect lawyers out. So it used to be that it was just anybody associated with the case from like an inside level, meaning law enforcement, any litigators, like for the state or public defender, anything like that, who was associated with the thank you for getting unhinged with me. That's awesome. But now it's extended to witnesses, attorneys for witnesses, anybody. So they basically kind of expanded it. And I'm wondering if somebody said this in the live, I cannot take this as my original thought. But I'm almost wondering if that's due to the People magazine leak where they talked about the connection being through Instagram. Well, thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. So I kind of wonder about that. Is Misty is what states specific? I'll wait for that answer. Um, well, okay. Well, the thing is though, the public defender in PA, it's going to make no difference. Oh, the gag order. Yeah, the gag order is state specific. Yeah, I know. I had the magic markers up here in my head, guys. So this whole thing about the Mad Greek is interesting too. So I'm kind of thinking we know based on what's happened that the Mad Greek people broke the story about the Instagram, right? So um, I'm going to come back to you in a second. I think that this one about the Mad Greek probably came from the same source. People are ignoring the gag order. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of what's prompting this. Um, that doesn't mean that we won't find anything out. As you saw, the search warrant was unsealed yesterday from Washington. I would imagine, though, even though the fact that Washington State is not under the Idaho gag order, they probably consulted with Idaho prior to releasing that, would be, again, my best guess. You guys want me to drink this because the faster we get to stuff. But I think People Magazine probably has the leak. I believe the Mad Greek thing is true. So I'm wondering if one of two things happened. Either he connected on Instagram first, and then he started going to the Mad Greek to try to, like, I guess, put the mood on them. But I think more likely the scenario was the opposite. He started the Mad Greek, got an infatuation, and started messaging. That would be my guess. You have not missed anything really that much yet. Hopefully he does not get away on a technicality. They do have 4 bodies. They did take what was listed, what we saw in the search warrant was very specific things. So I'm hoping that those really lead to something. Plus, we don't know what they have found in his car. Because as we've said, I think the analogy that I used tonight was great. If you've ever gone to the beach and tried to get sand out of your car, now imagine trying to get molecular specks of blood. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to do it. So before I go on and talk about Anna Walsh, what other questions do we have about Kohberger? Or what do y'all want me to talk about with Kohberger? I mean, we know that we've talked a lot about Idaho. I think that we have a lot to come, obviously. As this case progresses, as we get to see, I'm very curious to see what happens with what I had read about on Fox News with if they were to choose to bypass, like the prosecution decided to go for getting a grand jury together and going past the preliminary hearing and going straight to trial. That's an interesting thought. Kirby, I will tell you this story real quick. Or Michelle, you said it takes months to get sand out of your car. I had a car in college that I used to take to the beach. I would go to Florida or whatever. And I decided to redo the interior in that car for no other reason than I wanted to. And at the time I replaced the carpet. And when I pulled the carpet out, I had gotten this carpet incredibly clean. In the bottom of the car and the metal underneath the carpet, there was still a shit ton of sand. Oh, man. String cheese sounds good. Do we know where the car is forensically examined? I don't know, Tori. That's a good question. I kind of brought that up last night a little bit. I don't know if it was from PA and they shipped it over to Idaho like they did with the trash, or if PA analyzed it or had the FBI analyze it and send the result, or they just shipped the whole car over there. Do I think that the Kohberger case will be televised on Law and Crime TV? I believe to some degree. We can also talk about Alec Baldwin in a second, too. We can add that to our list. We'll talk about him. Let's see. We're here for Kohberger, here for Walsh. We'll get Alec Baldwin in about here. Okay, car state of Pennsylvania. There we go. Cars in PA. I don't care. Yeah, Great Value string cheese is good, too, guys. Luminal's going to find it. And I just have to scroll on this. Let's go back up to one of y'all said something. Do I think they're televised? Yeah. So we know that they allow cameras. Once the trial is undergoing, I am curious to see if the judge makes the decision to allow for live streaming versus, recaps throughout the day. Thank you, Doug, for arriving. I appreciate it. So, yeah, the car, we're measuring by drink. Yeah, you guys know I'm way too ADD to stay on topic. I'm going to try to do this as a podcast, as Pascal said, and we'll see how this goes. I'm going to try to upload this. Maybe not as my first podcast, because I feel like I should do an introductory podcast on like how I got here, but I think that the car's evidence will say a lot. I think it could very well be a smoking gun. Absolutely. Nope, you did not talk about the Summer Wells case. For those of y'all who are just getting here, the beer tells us where we're going to be in discussion. So Brian Koberger is from here to here, okay, which we're about there. Here to here is going to be Anna Walsh. Then we're going to talk about Alec Baldwin about here, okay, in this little general vicinity. And then here I got a new thing to talk about, a new case that is going, I think, for people who are true crime nuts, this person, which is why I'm going to make y'all wait. This person, I think combined Brian Walsh and Brian Koberger makes them look tame. And it's a woman killer, which is unusual. And then right in here, I'm going to get really unfiltered about Summer Wells because I have a lot to say about that. So, anyways, what else do we want to talk about? Brian Walsh is an idiot sandwich. My God. Do I think that the glove in the search warrant will match the glove found at the scene? I think that that's a very distinct possibility. You guys, I'm on the honor system with the can, guys. I'll slow down. In worst case, I just get another one. But yeah, I think that that's it's interesting that they took that. So, okay, it makes sense that they would examine it in PA because moving it on and off trucks and stuff, you could contaminate it versus towing it straight to a lab in PA. I mean, to me, that makes a lot of sense. Do I think the person who went to People Magazine was telling the truth? Do you think he really sent one of them Instagram messages? Yes, I do think that it's true. I think it's absolutely true. And this was a conversation that I had a little bit last night when we talked about this. Obviously, I am not a woman, so I cannot speak on this from a first degree standpoint, but I feel like as far as men go, I have a decent grasp on this. It is just like there's like literally nothing women can do to stay safe. If you're nice to a creepy guy, you could get raped or killed. If you're mean to a creepy guy, you could get raped or killed. If you don't say anything to a creepy guy, you could get raped or killed. Like there is literally no win for women. It's very challenging. So the idea of him messaging one of them on Instagram, and then not getting a response or not getting the response he wanted, it sounds like they didn't respond at all, that he felt maybe rejected and decided, well, this is going to be my victim for that reason. It's because he felt rejected. It's just a really shitty thing. So I do hope that his trial is on TV. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, at the very least, we'll get updates throughout the day. And you guys know that I will be on it. But that's the thing, Sydney. You can not talk to anyone and ignore it, but then that could also make them more, yeah, you said it makes them more angry. Yeah, my sister and I were talking the other night about it. And, she was like, do you ever, she asked me like, do you ever, like when you get out of your car, walk to your car at night, are you ever aware of your surroundings? And I said, not really, because it's not something that I worry about, but I know that women worry about it constantly. It's very scary. And I'm sorry that he probably does think he's a nice guy, but I'm sorry that my gender is so shitty most of the time. Again, we're going to talk about the Summer. There's not really anything to follow on the Summerwell case at this point. Okay, so now let's talk about Anna Walsh. We can come back to Koberger, but I'm about at the Anna Walsh, Brian Walsh part of this drink, and actually I might be even closer to Alec Baldwin. So let's talk about that for a minute. So we know that he was indicted. They do not have a body for her. His internet search history is incredibly concerning. Let me see if I can pull that up while we are talking about that. I'm going to leave this up. But it's very concerning because he also did it from his son's iPad. I don't know what his I mean, he's not a very good criminal at all, but his here we go. Here the search is made. He's not a very good criminal, and I guess he maybe thought that, okay, if we, you know, do it for my son's iPad, they're not gonna pull this. But let's talk about. I'm gonna give y'all a trigger warning. Oh, they have her tissue in the saw on the saw. Oh, I bet they. I'm sure that they do. So I'm glad that they do. I know they found tissue. So here are his internet search results. Trigger warning. I won't go through the timeline, but I will go in order, starting at 4:50 on January 1st. Well, let me start December 27th. December 27th. What's the best state to divorce for a man? So I'm going to give you guys my theory on what went down here. Okay. Again, this is 100% theory. None of this is. I like to make sure that I CYA myself on this. Okay. Um, Theory. I think that we knew, they knew that Brian Walsh was going to jail for the situation with selling fake Andy Warhols. Okay. And I could totally have a squirrel Andy Warhol moment, but I will digress. From there, I think they've been having problems. He has threatened to kill her before. He has been abusive before, which why she then married him really is hard for me to understand it. I mean, I do understand that people marry and stay with their abusers. And I know that the reason is they think that they're going to get better, they'll change, they believe the lies, whatever the case is. But nevertheless, I'm wondering if we like, okay, he's going to jail. He's become more abusive, especially since he is going to jail. The kids are getting older. He's becoming abusive to them. And she says, look, I'm going to divorce you. I'm taking the kids and I'm moving to Washington, D.C. I'm wondering if that was a discussion that happened. And he's like, the fuck you are. And which is why he starts looking here on the 27th. What's the best date to get a divorce? And he wants to win this thing against her. Okay. Yeah, and she did. Thank you for bringing that up. She gave him an incredible character statement at his trial, talking about how he's changed and whatnot. So, starting on December 27th, what's the best date to divorce a man? Okay. Then let's go to January 1st. In the 4 days from December 27th to January 1st, he went from let's get divorced to, you know what, let's just kill her. That was the leap that he made. So starting at 4:55 a.m., and I won't go through all the times, how long before a body starts to smell? How to stop a body from decomposing? 10 ways to dispose of a body if you really need to. How long for somebody to be missing to inherit? Can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from a wooden floor. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to put crime scene clothes away or wash them? Okay, so that is January 1st. So now let's move to January 2nd. Now, I'm not like trying to laugh at this. It's just it's an incredibly sad situation. But it's almost comical, these searches. Like, not in a comical way, like haha funny or funny haha, like how are you this stupid? like you're really, really fucking stupid. Okay, so January 2nd, Brian Walsh traveled to a Home Depot and paid $450 in cash for supplies, including mops, a bucket, goggles, tarps, a hatchet, baking soda, according to prosecutors. So, starting at 12:45 p.m., hacksaw best tool to dismember. Can you be charged with murder without a body? And at 1:14, can you identify a body with broken teeth? January 3rd, 1:02 p.m. What happens to hair on a dead body? What is the rate of decomposition on a body found in a plastic bag compared to on a surface in the woods? Can baking soda mask or make a body smell good? Like, y'all, these are some pretty incriminating searches. Like it's bad. It's really really bad. So they don't have a body, but they do have a lot of evidence that could absolutely be used against him. Um, so that's the thing. That's the thing. So he was arraigned. He's being held obviously without bail. He is in Massachusetts, so he is facing obviously life in prison. They abandoned the execution or abolished. I should say not abandoned. They abolished. I guess same thing. Um, uh, in execution in 1984. Like this guy has never seen a crime show ever, like ever. Like there's no yeah, there's especially and they also caught him on camera at a bunch of different dumpsters throwing things away, and they caught I guess everything they got at like so up north. I don't live up north. I'm pretty sure this is how it works because I know like New Jersey gets so much of the trash from like New York and stuff. Um, I don't know where Massachusetts goes, but it might go somewhere. But they have waste transfer stations, so all the waste gets dumped at one place, then it moves onward to the next place. Massachusetts is a fairly small state, very urban in a lot of areas, meaning that there's a lot of population. Population density is very high, so they have to move. They have to be very, I guess, strategic when they move things. So they take they go to the dump and they find all of this stuff that is clear evidence. Like this guy, like I think my 3.5-year-old could commit a better crime than this guy. So anyways, this it's just very sad. So for Anna, it's very sad. And now his kids are in state care. They're likely going to be split up. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I was talking to my aunt today, and I find this interesting too. Apparently, like right before she disappeared, the day she disappeared, she asked her mom to come, and her mom still hasn't come from Serbia. Like we know that there's not a money issue, but now you know that your daughter is dead. At the very least, she was missing. Now you have grandkids that are in the system. Why haven't you left and came from Serbia yet? That is my thought. Questions as we go. I don't think her body was even incinerated because they found. I mean, maybe so. Maybe so. I don't think they're going to find a body. I don't know what she did with it, but I don't think they're going to find a body. Maybe they incinerated her. He didn't. He didn't Google that though. So, but I'll tell you what. Oh, I want to add Chrisley's to this list too. I got to make a notepad here. Things that we still have to talk about. Okay, so we're talking about the Walshes now. We're going to talk about Baldwin. This other murder. That later. I want to talk about the Chrisleys with you guys for a second. That'll be just a very quick one, and then we're going to talk about Summer Wells because I want that one to be my last one because I have lots of things to say that I might not say without a filter normally, and I want to have the alcohol to do that. All right, so now I got my little list here. Yeah, there was an old house fire. There's a lot of weird things about this case. Tanya, don't steal what I'm going to say. I'm still going to say. But yes, I'm very sad about the Chrisleys, and I will get into that too because I have lots of thoughts on that as well. So that's on Anna Walsh. Before I move on to who's next, Baldwin, which should be fairly short. Any questions on this? If they said that the trash was incinerated, I don't know. Maybe Mimi's having a problem. Yeah, maybe she is, but usually, yeah, I don't know. Maybe coming from Serbia, there's some kind of thing. Yeah, Serbia. Yeah, it's part of Eastern Europe. I will. You know what? Here, let's do this real quick. Map of Europe. I will put this on the screen, and since I'm going to try to make this a podcast as well. Well, this is not what I want. Okay, I cannot read that. Where is, there it is. Okay. Let me pull this out. I'll pop this up on the screen for you guys just so y'all know where Serbia is because, as Americans, we are really bad at this kind of stuff. So we'll do a quick geography lesson. Oh, my wife is sending me something. My wife just said, don't say anything that's going to get the cornbread mafia at our house. Okay. So let's look at, damn, this one. Okay. So this has everything named. So if you look where we're at, okay, we'll start here. We're with a country that we can all recognize. We have Italy right here, okay? You have Austria right here, and you have Hungary right here. By the way, if you ever get a chance to go to Hungary, Budapest is amazing. I would strongly encourage it, okay? So then right below Hungary, right here, next to Romania, okay, next to Croatia, slightly north of Greece and North Macedonia, you have Serbia. Russia is way over here. You'd have to go through Romania and Ukraine to get to Russia, and a large part of Ukraine. So Serbia is right down here. Okay, so it's definitely Eastern Europe. It's the Balkans. That is where that is, where her mother has to come from. Oh, awesome, Tori. That's amazing. Can I explain maybe the culture of Serbia? I don't know how to. I don't know enough about. I'm gonna just say, look, I don't know enough about Serbia to tell you what the culture is there. I really don't know, and I don't want to be ignorant or insulting. So I'm just gonna say nothing because I just legitimately don't know. Serbia is a country that I have never been to. I've never really had a desire to go to, although I don't know why, because I do have a desire to go to Romania. I hear Bulgaria is beautiful. I understand Turkey is beautiful. I've been to Greece. But none of these other ones are in this little area right here. But I don't know. I don't know if what their racial what their racial makeup is. So I'll stop sharing this and go back to us. So anyways, it's just very interesting. Yeah, Serbia, I think might have been part of the former Yugoslavia. I think that sounds right. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Actually, where is? Yeah, well, here's because Czechoslovakia used to be Czechoslovakia, and here's what I'm looking at it: Czech Republic and now Slovakia. I think that you're right. I think that you're right. Nobody's saying that you sound dumb, Mackenzie. I promise. Okay. So, anything else about Anna Walsh before we move on, or do we even want to talk about Alec Baldwin tonight? Have we talked about that enough, or we can do that? We can move on because I do want to talk. I'm judging to talk about the Grizzlies. So, okay, we'll just go straight to the Grizzlies, and then you can tell me if you want to do Alec Baldwin. So Chris Crisley and Julie Crisley, he got 12. They got 19 years combined. He's doing 12 years. He ripped off a bank. Essentially, is what he did. He ripped off a bank. And am I sitting here saying that you don't need to be punished for doing that? No, I'm not saying that at all. Well, see if you're torn after I say this, Bunny Sue. Banks rip us off every day with their fees. They rip you off when you give them your money and they lend it out at double percentage rates and they give you like a fraction of a percent. So they're a big business. It didn't hurt a human, it hurt a business that's definitely not hurting. Banks have done very well in the past several years. And again, I'm not condoning criminal action. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve a punishment. But then you look at somebody like Josh Duggar and what he did. Josh Duggar is a person who had apparently, when you're talking about People used to call it like child pornography, but it's really, but I heard TikTok advocates said it in a very good way. Pornography is consensual. This is not. So, child sex abuse material. Apparently, whatever Josh Duggar had was the top tier worst stuff you could have. One of the videos that he had apparently was one of the top tier worst stuff that you could possibly have. And you're telling me this is a guy that's known to have abused his sisters, that is known, is rumored to have abused his own children, and they're giving Chris Crisley the same amount of time, maybe a little bit more, than Josh Duggar. That to me doesn't seem right. Basically, right now, Doug, my understanding is, as far as custody goes, is that Savannah Crisley is basically getting the whole family. Now, I'll tell you something that's really sad. This is not my original thought. This was somebody else's comment. But when Chris Crisley, when Crisley, or Todd, his name's, I don't know, what do I call him, Chris? Is it Cod? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Having a moment here. Todd. Yeah, I'm saying Chris. Thank you. Todd. Who's Chris Crisley? Todd Crisley. I'm like, wait a minute. When Crisley went to hug his mother with Nanny Faye, that's probably the last time he's going to be able to do so alive. Because how old is Nanny Faye? How old is Nanny Faye? She's 79. In 12 years, if she's still alive, she'll be 91. And y'all, there was a story I did a video on a while back about this was Roe v. Wade. Yeah, she does have cancer. I forgot about that. Maybe I'm thinking Chris Christie. It's Todd Crisley. Sorry. Yes. Where a guy raped a 12-year-old girl. I think if she was 12. Got pregnant. She had the baby. He went to prison for a year. Got out early. Raped another girl. I don't think got any time for that. Then, because he was of legal age and the girl that he had a kid with was not, sued for legal custody of the child and won. Despite the fact that he was caught with underage girls twice and knowingly impregnated one. Like, that is not the way this court system should be doing. But I don't think he should get 5 years for this. Like, I think that there should be some form of punishment. Retribution, 100%. Probation, the lesson here is don't go into business with Chris Crisley. I think it was Ohio, actually. It wasn't the South. I think it was Ohio. It was Ohio or Michigan. I can't remember. It was one of those two. Okay, so you look how little pedos get here in Australia. 18 months, pedo ring organizers. 6 years, 4 years, then parole. Disgusting. And they get a house weekly pay and everything. That's terrifying. But I will say this, Tori. Y'all's whole country was founded as a penal colony. So, I could see why they're a little bit more lax about. I'm kind of kidding. I'm trying to be lighthearted about heavy topics. But yeah, there are people who do far worse crimes that get off with much lighter sentences. And Todd Crisley, like he is not like a menace to society. Josh Duggar is a menace to society. Josh Duggar is a problem because not only was he looking at this material, which is bad in and of itself, but what's even worse than that is that we know he's abused children in the past, his own sisters, and very likely his own children. And so that puts you at a completely different tier, in my opinion. Like, both things are bad. But he's done, and he did both. And he still gets Grizzly's still getting more. It just, to me, it's just absolutely mind-boggling. So, Josh is a problem. Yeah, Todd Grizzly got more time, and all he did was he ripped off a bank. And what was it, Chase Bank? How much is Chase Bank worth? Chase Bank worth. Chase Bank, who he ripped off, and I don't remember how much it was exactly, but Chase Bank is currently worth $395.25 billion. Billion. 300 and not, almost $400 billion. Yeah, the judge is making an example out of them, but really, is this the use of taxpayer money? When let the judge make examples out of people who really need to have examples made out of them. Financial crime, he's not, Well, Josh Duggar's wife is brainwashed. That whole family is a cult, and that's a completely different stream. We could have a whole discussion on the Duggars. So I'm going to take the Grizzlies off my list now because we've talked about them. So I wish, because one of the things that's coming up here, I wish we had over 100 people in here because I think that would be really good. People are going to want to hear about this. Before I do this next one, we'll talk about the Todd Grizzly's, CEO of Chase Bank had a big ship that got busted with kilos of coke, and he didn't even. Yeah, drug lords, drug traffickers, armed robbery. I looked up the things. Well, the thing is, but the thing about writing your congressman doesn't make a difference. And I know that sounds incredibly pessimistic, but when you have voters, the vast majority of voters agree with what's currently out there, it doesn't really make a difference. But like somebody like Todd Grizzly, like I am thinking of Chris Christie, I think. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Anyways, Todd Grizzly, it's insane. It's insane. So, anyways, I digress. Nobody's seen big if we talked about Baldwin, so we'll skip Baldwin because it's middle after midnight. All right, y'all want me to tell you about this really crazy, messed up thing that I read about? Let me find it real quick. Where did it go? I can close these out. I can close this out. Let me turn this up. Okay. Let me throw this up here for you guys. All right. Hold on. Hold, please. Window. This is what we're talking about. I don't know why it's trying to load here. Authorities find chainsaw, dismembered couple, and signs of extreme trauma in a Pennsylvania home. So I will let y'all let this sink in for a second. Before we get into the nitty gritty of what happened here. I'm not loving this particular way it looks, but this is what we're going to talk about. So the couple's daughter, Verity Beck, this was January 18th. This was essentially, it was after midnight, essentially yesterday. The daughter, Verity Beck, nobody's talking to you, Siri. The daughter did it. Yes, the daughter did it. Read it again. You're doing dishes. Authorities find chainsaw, dismembered couple, and signs of extreme trauma in a Pennsylvania home. The daughter did this, as y'all are saying. She shot her parents in their heads and dismembered their bodies with a chainsaw. She was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of third-degree murder, and other crimes in the killings of her mother and father, 73 and 72, or father and mother, 73 and 72, respectively. She went to her preliminary arraignment yesterday. It was ordered held without bail. Criminal court records show. They have not identified a motive, although investigators found a safe that someone appeared to have tried to break into. So that could have been the motive. Officers were sent over to the home, which is a little bit north of Philly, for a wellness check after they hadn't heard from the couple in more than a week. And they found the daughter, Verity Beck, who we were along with the victims' bodies. They found body parts in trash bags that had been placed in 2 different trash cans, and one of the victims was tightly wrapped in a white bedsheet and blanket. And there were signs of extreme trauma present. And the autopsy showed that the Becks were each shot once in the head, adding that a pillow might have been used during gunfire, and that the shots appeared to have been fired before the couple was dismembered. And I agree. We hope and pray that it happened first. They found at least 3 guns inside the home that belonged to Verity. And it wasn't clear exactly when they were killed, but a family member said they last spoke to them on January 7th. So, again, it is very, very strange for, yes, it does. She was 49 years old. So this is a messed up story. I think I should do a TikTok video on this for sure. But this is a messed up story. And this is the one I was like, oh my gosh, I saw this during the thing, and I have to share this with you guys. So really, really kind of messed up. Yeah, thank you. So Fids, first of all, thank you for that. Usually my chats here and on TikTok tend to be pretty chill. They tend to be very respectful. We don't, I never allow people to be disrespectful or bully other people in my lives. And it usually becomes very, very chill because of that. And really, my followers, no matter which account it is, are really good people. Obviously I like having my following, but I will not sacrifice integrity for followers. So if people are disgenuine or bullies or just disgusting human beings, I am happy to take them away from my accounts. Because that's just not how we are. That's actually, I'll say this on here. That's actually how we lost one of my longtime mods this past week. Is that it had been brought up to me. I'm just going to go and say, I'm just going to talk about it. It had been brought up to me. I won't say who it is. That from a mutual creator, 2 mutual creators, actually, one in particular, who has biracial children. And this particular person made a comment using a very strong racial epithet that I don't condone. And then to another creator said that he jokes like that with me all the time. He doesn't, because I shut that shit down. And so because of that, all 3 of myself and these 2 other creators all unmodded him, and he has tried to go on a little bit of a smear campaign, but has not been successful. But my point is I feel like when it comes to stuff like that in particular, staying silent and allowing that to happen is the same as condoning it. And I don't. So anyways, my point of that is that we do not allow for bad behavior in my lives. People will be forced to go away, whether they want to or not. So that is the point to that. So talk about Summer Wells. Hold on. Am I there yet? Let me just, hold on. All right, we're there. Let's talk about Summer Wells. Yes, we do not tolerate hate. People, no matter the color of their skin, their sexual orientation, if they're part of the LGBTQ plus community, their political views, no matter what they are welcome here as long as they are nice and they are accepted, because that's what this is about. As long as you're not a dick. So let's talk about Summer Wells. Speaking of families that are dicks. It's not even a success story, because what's success? I have a following on TikTok. That's, I'm grateful for it. Please don't say I'm trying to I'm not trying to downplay it, and I'm very, very appreciative of it. But it's that's it means that people enjoy listening to me because I guess I bring something of value to the table, which I mean, I'm the one that's humbled by that. Um, so, but there's not like a lot of money I make off of anything. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been the creator fund, but I don't make that. I don't really make anything off of it. I wish I did. That's why I'm moving to YouTube. But let's talk about Summer Wells. I digress. So, for those of y'all who are new here, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, or in the Nashville metro area, I should say. And Summer Wells happened in East Tennessee. Okay. The part of Tennessee where this occurred, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen, and I can try to get it pulled up. If any of you guys have seen the home that Summer Wells lived at, I'm using the term home loosely here. In Nashville, there were billboards for her for a long time. Up, Have You Seen Me? There were creators, TikTok creators, YouTube creators, one in particular, Nerdy Addict, who went there, and the family fired guns at them. Summer Wells, where she is from, where her family is from, is the area when people who are not from the South stereotype the South, it is the place that you are thinking. When you are from the South, like I am, it is the hollers. It is it is so much more than rednecks. These are like the mountain folk, like the deep blue blood mountain folk kind of people. They are in the hollers and the backwoods of these communities. Typically, these communities are not receptive to anybody from the outside coming in at all. They keep to themselves. They handle justice themselves. Other people are just not welcome at all. I think that Nerdy Addict tried to fly a drone, don't hold me to this, over their house too, and I think they shot it down. Yeah. If you search the interview room, Summer Wells is incredible content on that case. Interviews with the entire family, takes you inside the house. Yeah, so here's the thing. I never covered the case that closely because the family scares the shit out of me. And they are not too far from me. So it's just not safe. Yeah, as Katie just said, it's just not safe. So I will talk about it a little bit now in this particular moment because I think that it's okay to, and I will tell you what I assume happened. One is I think that Fid said, where are you? You actually been to Rogersville? Okay. You said that you don't think Summer will be found. I agree with you. I believe that the family knows exactly where she is. And I will tell you what I think happened, and I'm going to give you guys a trigger warning for anybody who doesn't want to hear this. That I'm going to tell you it involves, I think that it involves child sex abuse. So anybody who doesn't want to hear that, I will give you the opportunity. So I'm going to make this a podcast, I guess, this episode. Turn it off, or earmuffs or leave or whatever you want to do, because I don't want to offend anybody or trigger anybody. But that being said, no, you can ask questions. Ask away. I know maybe people are stupid. The reason that I'm scared to answer your question is because this is very close to where I live, not far at all. It's within a few hour drive, and these people are unhinged. Not like the fun unhinged, like literally unhinged, do not care about jail and they handle their vigilante justice. But what I think happened to Summer Wells, no apologies necessary. I think that there was some kind of CSA situation because she was 5 years old. And I think that whatever happened to her was something that hurt her to a point that either she strongly required medical attention or worse. And I think from that point, they decided to dispose of her in a place that she will never be found. That is very strongly what I think happened in this case. Yeah, Hills Have Eyes unhinged. So that is what I will say about the Summer Wells case. That's kind of what my thought was, but I mean, she's also 5, so I mean, it could have could be one man. Like I said, that's why I gave y'all a trigger warning on this. This is the conversation my wife and I've had many, many times. It is absolutely tragic, and that's why they don't want her to be found. That's why they don't work with authorities. That's why they don't work with creators. That's why they don't work with social media. That's why they will not talk to anybody, will not do interviews, because they know what happened to that child and they don't want her found. That is my thought. So that is why I have not done much on Summer Wells when people ask me to do it in the height of it. This will probably be the last I speak of it. But yeah, that is what I feel happened. So it's tragic how people could do that to a child. Yes, Nikki, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, so same. It breaks my heart. It's very, like, I don't know if y'all can tell, but like me even talking about this, it's messing with me. So yeah, that's it's problematic. Anything like that is problematic, whether it's Summer Wells or anybody else. So it's a case that's probably never going to be solved, and it's because they don't want it to be solved. So that is my thoughts on Summer Well. Yeah, I agree. Because especially if it's done by the people that are supposed to protect you. Like, I mean, it should be done at all, but especially if it's the person that's supposed to protect you, like a parent or a step parent or a sibling, any family member that's supposed to be a safe space. I just don't get it. So, police did investigate the parents, yes. So, yeah, if you want to hear more about it, you can learn about it. It's been a big case in Tennessee. I don't know the answer, Jan. I don't know the answer. I don't even know who that is, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm very, so for my territory, I have the entire state of Tennessee, and I'm very particular on where I have to go. So I agree, Tori. Why do I haven't? Why do they haven't done anything? Because they don't have evidence. Why do I think they haven't done anything to the parents? Because they don't have evidence. You have to have evidence. If they're not speaking, go back to Gabby Petito. The Laundries wouldn't say a word. What can you get on people when they don't say a word? These are communities that help each other out, and they don't let others in. Here, I'll show y'all if I can find this real quick. Okay, that's not what I asked for. All right, let's see if we can find a video real quick of this. Commercial. Okay, pause. I'm going to show you guys Summer Wells' house here for a second. So for y'all who have not seen it, make this a full screen on here. I did not want that. Okay. There we go. Actually, I might be able to do this. Hold on. Present. There we go. So I will play this for you guys so y'all can see it. I'll make it full screen. All right. So there's not going to be any sound to this, but I'll let y'all. This is 12 minutes. I'm going to try to maybe make this go a little faster. Playback speed will go a little bit faster. We'll go 2 times. So y'all can see kind of the area where she lives. I mean, this is like deep. This almost looks like Nerdy Addicts video. So you can see like this is like deep up in there. No, it's not. It's got somebody else's name on it. I mean, it's pretty country out there, as you can see. But this is the property spread right here. I mean, it's beautiful, gorgeous country out there. We can fast forward through some of this. Here we go. Let's go to here. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit for you guys. Actually, I shouldn't have done it. You can see. Okay. This is part of the property. I think their shed. And we're going faster on this. So you can see all the cars and stuff around here. They got all the video surveillance things. They will shoot you. This driveway looks miserable to get up. We can go a little faster on this. This gives you an idea how far up it is. See the broken down trucks, the cars. They got to tell you what, though, he's ballsy for being up here. You got a mattress sitting out in front of the back door, another mattress or bed spring, something like that, sitting over on the side of the house. Stuff piled in the windows, as you can see. The whole bottom of the house over there is completely open. We'll press a little bit of this. See, I'll try to go past a little bit of some of this stuff to get you more. We'll start with the puppy. You see the broken down trucks. I mean, it's just, I mean, the house is bad, guys. And there's been pictures of the inside. You can see everything broken on the windows. All this stuff piled up in the windows. Anyways. They have solar panels, though, so that's something. And that was Summer Wells. Anyways, you guys get the point on this. So I'll stop that. Go back to me. So y'all get the point. The property is a shithole. So like hillbillies, but worse. Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, nobody's driving up that property and taking her. So, and you see it's a lot of land out there. So anyways, yes, they do still have their other children. Yes. Yeah, somebody did not come into that girl's bedroom or come into the room and take her, or she ran out the house. I forget exactly what the story was. Nobody took that child. I don't believe it for a second. Yeah, I don't remember seeing them either, but I thought that maybe. I don't know what they've searched, but they would have to get a search warrant in order to be able to do it, really. The boys were removed in foster care. Okay, I have not heard that the other children were removed. Don Wells is not, or was Don her real dad or her stepdad? I guess it's Don Wells, so I guess it is her dad. Although I say it sounds like the kids are no longer there. Somebody saying they did search. Somebody saying the dad's real. Some saying it's a step. I don't know. Again, this case, I knew about the case, but I purposely did not pay attention to that many details on it because I didn't want to, especially when it was new. I did not want to talk about it because of the reasons that I mentioned earlier. So I remember bits and pieces of it, but I never got as into it. Like, I mean, I could chat with you about Gabby Petito and Moscow all day long in great detail, but this one I purposely stayed away from. I think Olivia might have gone up there, considered going up there. I think she go up there, and I told her, I was like, you need to stay away from these people. Bio dad and daughter. Okay. So, anyways, that is Summer Wells. So, and this is empty. So, that's what we have. And yeah, I think that's all I got for tonight. No, that's it's. I don't know what time it is. You're in Australia. Let's see what time it is in Australia. What time is it in Sydney? It's 5. Yeah, it's 5:30 for you. Like, it's Friday too. It's like it's the weekend for you. So yeah, you have nothing to do, which is great. I'm not saying nothing. Yeah, it's Thursday for us. Yeah, thank you, Tori. Thursday for us. Alec Baldwin. I don't think I have it in me. I think I'm tired and it's 12:30 and I need to go to bed. I think that's what we're at. But I will tell you this: I will be on tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do a full on live or YouTube stream or whatever tomorrow. We'll see. I always say I'm not going to, and then I get on. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to come on at 9 p.m. Central Time and restream the 2020 for people who missed it. I think it's an okay time in Australia to do that. I think. Let's see. It's not 3 hours. Yeah, so it's an okay time in Australia to do that tomorrow because it'll be the weekend. It'll be late afternoon. For the Brits, I know it'll be like 1 or 2 a.m. So sorry about that. But yeah. Yes, I need to, Doug. There's got to be I need to. I'm sorry. So yeah, I will look. So on that note, guys, on that very depressing note on Summer Wells, I'm going to leave you guys, and we will probably see you tomorrow on TikTok for that live of that. No, thanks for coming in and joining. And if y'all came in to hang out and you haven't followed, please consider doing so, because I'm really trying to grow my YouTube presence. And you will not get this. You cannot get this version of me on on TikTok because whatever. But no, thank you. I appreciate it, kids. Thank you. Y'all have a great night, and we will see y'all tomorrow for the 2020 special. Good night, guys.